Hey, it's Russ Ruffino, and today I am going to reveal the number one best source of hiring incredible remote work talent to grow your company. So we've grown Clients on Demand to over $100 million in revenue. And the only thing that's ever made that possible is that we have been able to attract some of the greatest talent in the game. And so everyone else is wondering, where do we get remote talent? Where do we get great people? Where do we find people? And everyone's hung up on sites like Upwork and Fiverr, and those are kind of the go-tos. But at Clients on Demand, we have a secret weapon that we have used to find some absolutely incredible people. And the name of that site is hiremymom.com. Now, why is this site so awesome? Well, what we've found is that all over the country, there's incredibly brilliant, qualified women. They've got bachelor's degrees and master's degrees. They're corporate VPs. They've got all this incredible stuff going on and all these amazing qualifications. But for whatever reason, they get to a point in their life where they don't necessarily want to be a part of the corporate grind anymore. They don't want to be in the car commuting 2 hours each way. They really are in a position that they want to work from home because they have kids, they have a family, or whatever's going on. And so we have been able to find some absolutely incredible people using this site, and I'm really excited to tell you about it. So joining me today is the founder and CEO of hiremymom.com, Leslie Pyle. Leslie, what's going on? Welcome.
Thank you so much, Russ. Man, I'm gonna have to hire you to do a commercial for Hire My Mom. That was incredible.
We just love it. I mean, we've literally just found like the greatest people there that, that you're not going to find people of that quality, like on Fiverr or even on Upwork. So why don't you tell us, what's the story behind hiremymom.com and why did you start it?
Yeah. So you kind of described me in your intro. I am that mom that had my bachelor's degree and my master's degree in PR and marketing. And the last thing I wanted to do at the time was to be a stay-at-home mom. But guess what? I had kids and something really shifted internally in me. And I'm like, what in the world? I want to work, but I also want to be a mom. How can I ever make that work? And this was when I had my first child, it was 1995. So working from home was not even considered an option. But I was like bound and determined to figure out how I could work and be a mom at the same time because I was so passionate about both of them. So I began freelancing way before freelancing was cool or even really known. And so back then I had, my clients that were hard to get because it was before email and the internet. But, like I said, I was passionate and I was determined, but I would always offer to meet at their office and they never refused. So I never had to tell anyone that I worked from home back then. And so fast forward, I was like, okay, this is great. And I'm kind of chugging along and figuring things out, but we're the other moms. I cannot be the only one doing this. So I then used my PR and marketing background and launched a website back in 1996 when the internet was brand new to me anyway. And it was called Home-Based Working Moms. And it was kind of like a virtual chamber of commerce for moms to connect online, to learn from each other, buy from each other, support each other. And that was great. But a lot of these moms just really wanted a job. They didn't want to start a business. And back then it was really hard to find anyone to employ you from home. Because I actually went to my employer at the time and said, can I work from home even just like 2 days a week? And it was no. So as it became more acceptable to work from home, I thought, you know what? I have this incredible community of women that I probably had, an email list of like 40,000 women within this home-based working mom that I started. And I thought, this was 2007. I'm like, I think now people are becoming more accustomed to somebody can actually work and get things done at home. So I decided to launch Hire My Mom, knowing I had a pre-built audience of moms. I just had to attract businesses and prove this concept to them. And so initially it was free to post a job because I was like, give these ladies a chance. And I will assure you that you will find some rock stars who, have this incredible talent, degrees and everything. They just really want that flexibility and freedom to prioritize their family when they need to, when their kids are sick or when there's a school play or they need to take their kids to school. That flexibility is like gold to a lot of moms.
Yeah, at Clients on Demand, we've got about 70%, I'd say, of our workforce here are all moms who are working from home, and they're dedicated and they're amazing and they're incredible at what they do. And we've just found so many amazing people using hiremymom.com. So I think this is kind of like an opportunity that people are kind of sleeping on, where when they're going out there and they're trying to recruit talent, either they've got a workforce where everyone works in person, in which case this kind of wouldn't apply to them, or they're going to these other sites where they're not going to get quite the same caliber of person, because there are people that are just ultra qualified at what they do. They're amazing at what they do. But as you go through life, your priorities change. And now you want to spend more time with your kids and you want to spend more time at home, but you're still ready to show up and crush it, full time and do like incredible work. You just don't want to have to waste time going, to and from some office. So what we found at Clients on Demand is those are some of our absolute best people. And we always pay our people well, but that is just such a massive value add for so many people that, a lot of people think if you want to hire top talent, you're going to have to spend a fortune, where there's been so many moms where it's like, I just want to have this remote work situation, even if it means I have to take a little bit of a cut in what I would normally get paid. That's the lifestyle that they want to have. And, and if you've got a great company, a coaching company or whatever, where you've got some incredible mission that people can really sink their teeth into, that is just, going to make your company even more appealing. So we have found some really incredible, hardworking, conscientious, brilliant women on hiremymom.com. So as far as you're concerned, because maybe I see it a little differently, right? As far as you're concerned, what makes hiremymom.com different from some of the other sites, freelancing and remote work sites out there?
I think you've nailed part of it in that, we are primarily moms. We do occasionally get a dad or a dog mom or whatever. But I think women are so passionate about being able to have that freedom and flexibility to work around their family that I feel like personally, they want to prove that you hire me and I'm going to show you what a rock star I am, because I value this freedom, this flexibility, where I'm not having to just go sit at an office 8 to 5. I might get up and work at 6 a.m. and take, 3-hour break in the middle of the day and then work again when my kids are asleep, or however it works, depending on the season of life that this mom is in. That is so valuable. And you're right. A lot of women will take a slight decrease in pay for that flexibility. So that's number one. And then as far as what makes this different for a small business owner, not only are you getting great talent, but as your team knows, when you post a job with us, you're not inundated with thousands of resumes. And I know I've been told that we've had people share that they post on Indeed or LinkedIn, and one day they'll get 1,000 resumes. And, as a small business owner, most likely you don't have an HR department. You, the owner, or your team is hiring, and that's not their primary job. So if you can cut that down to like 50 applicants, but you've got like 20 really great ones in there, that's a huge time saver for a small business owner. And for the job seeker, they're not competing with 1,000 people. So it's very highly effective for the job seeker too, because they know they're competing with some good talent, but they're not competing with thousands of people. So our little niche boutique works well for both audiences. And then we are, as you saw in the Facebook post you had, we do restrict our site primarily to North America. We do get hated on a little bit for that, and I understand it. But there's Fiverr and there's Upwork and there's lots of other platforms that are worldwide. But our niche, and we do have people outside of the U.S., we do have a handful of people, that we can allow when the circumstances are good. But we do that for a few reasons. One is a lot of these small businesses want someone in or near their time zone, not 12 hours different. They want someone that's fluent in English, that's their first language, especially if they're client facing. And, sometimes it's really hard with thick accents and you can't understand them. So, that's a reason some people look to hire. Also, they're very familiar with U.S. business culture and they know what's important to us in America. You don't have the problems with electricity and internet like you do in some of these other countries where you can hire a virtual assistant for $2 an hour, but it comes with its pros and cons. And we also try to protect our job seekers' ability to earn, because if they're competing with $2 an hour, they can't compete with that. So there's a lot of reasons why we've decided to niche down to primarily North America. And then we don't grab jobs from other places on the internet, like a lot of these that just kind of pull jobs from everywhere, and then you're applying to the same job on 5 platforms. So with us, a job doesn't appear on our site unless a small business owner has posted it themselves. And then we do a lot
That's
of
great.
research to make sure they're not scams.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think I just want to emphasize, I think you really hit the nail on the head that what this is about is it's about saving time. Because we've posted on Indeed, we've posted on Wise Hire, we've posted on some of these other sites, and you just get flooded with applications. And
Right.
even if you have an HR department, I mean, realistically, no one has the time to sift through thousands of applications. And for me as a business owner, I would rather have, let's say, 50 people apply for a job and 45 of them are like outstanding candidates than have 1,000 people apply for a job and about 40 of them are outstanding candidates. And that's the
Right.
experience that we've had with HireMyMom.com, where the people that are applying are just of such an incredibly high quality that it's difficult for us to choose. And so I would just tell everyone watching this that this is probably not a site that you want to use if you're just kind of looking for someone who's going to just show up and like go through the motions and, enter some data or do any kind of like super, super, super repetitive and boring
Right.
tasks, right? You can go overseas for that kind of thing. The
Right.
people that we've got at HireMyMom.com, they will actually take whatever position that we're looking for. And when we get them on board, they will take it to the next level, which is they're elevating my vision of what an admin can be or a chief marketing officer can be, where they're coming in and they're redefining the game for us, which as a business owner, that's the experience that you want to have. So the people we've gotten from Hire My Mom have been like true A players where they're like redefining the game, which is like,
Yeah.
as a business owner, it's like the best feeling. It's like
It's
just
like
the
gold.
best feeling to have.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
like, well, because it's like you sit there and you think, well, I hope I can find somebody that's good enough. I hope I can find someone that's good enough. But then when you get someone that's like outstanding, that just blows all of your expectations out of the water, it's a game changer for your business. And then you start to stack up 5 of those people, 10 of those
Yeah.
people, 15 of those people, and now you've got a company that's really gonna crush it and just be firing on all cylinders.
Right.
So let me ask you this. You guys have a special concierge done for you hiring
Yeah.
service I think might appeal to a lot of people. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. That was something that we had people asking for because, again, as a small business owner, you don't necessarily have time to hire. You might be, working and crushing what you're doing, but you need a new admin assistant or social media marketer, whatever it might be. So we do offer, I have an HR specialist who will basically sit down with you on Zoom, go through what you're looking for, create a job description, post it on our website, go through all the applicants, interview, and then submit the top 2 or 3 candidates to you. So then you can watch the Zoom interview, review the candidate summary, and then you could say, okay, out of these 2 or 3, I think this is the candidate we want to hire. So it basically takes all of that work off of your plate so that you can go straight to the top couple of candidates and maybe you hire both of them. We've had that happen too. So we just try to be serve all the needs we can for those small businesses that are too busy. And a lot of times these small business owners don't necessarily have the skills to hire well. They're really good at what they do, but they don't really have the capacity or the understanding on really how to interview and what to look for in candidates. So our HR specialist, that's what she does. That's her background. And so it's been a real asset to businesses to have that ability to use that service.
So what are the pricing options of the different ways that people can work with you and use your service?
Yeah, so with the concierge service, we have 2 levels. The level 1 is like admin support and more basic roles, and that's $795. And then we have our level 2 that are a little bit upper level type positions. That might be a sales position or an executive position, and that's $995. And then we have a light version that's $495 where you would do the interviews. She'll just kind of go through all of the initial phase and cultivate all of the candidates, and then you do all of the interviewing yourself.
That's like such a no-brainer to end up with someone, because here's the thing. It's the time delay. It's the time delay, the gap between you saying, hey, we have this need for this person in this role, and actually filling that role and finding someone great. And the cost of hiring the wrong person
Yes.
is horrendous. Like
Right.
people don't realize this, but especially when you're talking about a key position, not hiring anyone for that position is bad enough, but hiring the wrong person can have ripple effects through your entire company. And just about any
Right.
business owner that's been around for 5 or 10 years could tell you some horror stories
Yes.
about bringing the wrong person in. So to
Yes.
spend, 997 or whatever to reduce the likelihood of that happening and massively increase the likelihood of you getting a better person, but also doing it faster. And to
Yes.
me, that's just like an absolute no brainer, like
And
for
it's
sure.
so much more affordable than these recruiting firms that charge you
Oh yeah.
$15,000 or something. A lot of small businesses don't have that budget, so we try to meet them where they're at and provide a service. Because, like you said, you hire the wrong person, and it's a massive toll on morale, on your time, on your money. I mean, it can take you back.
Or they charge a percentage of whatever that person's comp is going to be.
Exactly.
And that's really gnarly because now you're saying, well, if I pay this person less, then I have to pay the recruiter less. And it just sets the incentives up in the wrong direction where, what we should be able to say is like, hey, look, find me a great person. I'll pay that person what they're worth. And then now everyone's incentives are aligned. So yeah, I think that
Right.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So
And
last
then
thing, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I didn't mention if you just want to post a job and do it yourself without any help from us, it's $77.
Okay. See, so that's
Yeah.
easy too.
Yeah.
All right. So what markets do you serve primarily? Like what are the types of people that most often, the types of positions that most often get filled on hiremymom.com and in which markets?
Yeah, so we primarily serve small businesses. So we have anything from coaches is a big one, consultants, digital marketing agencies, some medical and dental businesses, and things like that. And then as far as what jobs are posted, our number one job is usually an executive assistant because usually that's the first thing someone needs to hire just to kind of get some things off of their plate. We also get account managers, project managers, social media managers, digital marketing, accounting, bookkeeping, customer service, pretty much everything that a small business needs. Online business managers, one that's growing. So yeah, it's always fun
I
to
love
see
that.
some of that. See the
Well,
new.
one of the things that we've had happen, one of the things that we've had happen over and over again at hiremymom.com, and this is really cool, is we will hire someone for an executive assistant position. And that person will be so just ridiculously overqualified for that job that we've been able to sort of like nurture those people into becoming like full blown product manager or project managers and more like a VP type position, even if what they originally got hired for was just to be more of like an executive assistant. And that's really what you want is you want
Yeah.
people that are smart and conscientious and hardworking and they're good people and they want to be there and they're mission driven. And you can then nurture them and develop them into these higher level positions as well. So that's a really great thing because sometimes people say, well, hey, we need a project manager or we need a chief operating officer, and that's gonna, that's a $250,000 a year position or whatever it is. But you can find people on
Yeah.
hiremymom.com that have more potential than just that little position that you're hiring them for, and then those people can grow with your company. And
Yeah.
that's what we found, and that's been the greatest thing about it, is that we're not hiring people for like one-off gigs or one-off tasks like you might on Upwork or Fiverr. We're really getting people that will stay with us for years and that will grow and develop with the company. So it's just been a fantastic experience. And for those of you guys watching this, I cannot recommend hiremymom.com highly enough. I'm not getting paid to say this. We don't have like an affiliate link. She's not, sending me a gift certificate to Hometown Buffet or something. Like I'm literally just saying this because I think the site is incredible, and at Clients on Demand, it's been our secret weapon. And I'm just so happy to share it with you. So it's a super easy link, hiremymom.com. We're going to put it in the description of the video anyway, just in case you can't be bothered to go to your browser and type in hiremymom.com. It's going to be right there in the description. So go ahead and click that. Use them for all your hiring needs, and I can virtually guarantee that you will get some absolutely incredible people. Leslie, thank you so much for joining us. It's my pleasure to talk about this amazing site you've put together, and keep kicking butt.
Thank you so much, Russ. It's been my pleasure. What an honor. Thank you so much for all your kind words.